So, when last we left off, Serena had made her way into the town of Valaki. A seemingly well-organized and well-fortified town, with the goal of protecting Irina from Strahd's wrath. After staying in the town for a brief time, it was clear that the town was not all that it seemed. And after doing some investigation, they learned that the Baron had been enforcing a strict rule of mandatory happiness and celebration, with the ultimate goal of thwarting Strahd. The Baron, the Burgomaster, clearly being mad. Serena continued her investigation to see if that wasn't the end of it. And in her investigation, she came across a lake where one of the local residents was attempting to drown a Vistani girl. She saved her, brought her back to her encampment, whereupon she met some friendly and not so friendly Vistani, among of which was an elfin man, a dusk elf, named Casimir, who revealed to her his desire to collaborate in her quest to take down Strahd. After a few more days at the town, Irina was eventually captured by the captain of the guard there, him saying some cryptic messages about seeing her in his dreams. A rescue mission ensued, where they were greeted by a bride of Strahd. And though they succeeded in rescuing Irina, it wasn't before some extreme damage had already been done. What exactly happened there? They still do not exactly know, as Irina has not spoken a word since then. After an uneasy night's rest, they were awoke by the sound of an angry mob coming to chase them out, as they had broken into the Baron's manor to free Irina. They were chased out of town, but not arrested. Serena went back to the Vistani encampment to take Casimir up on his offer. Casimir agreed and loaded up a wagon with supplies, and they went off to a tower. Supposedly, that was in the west of Barovia. A tower that a local bard and innkeeper had recommended them visit as a safe, or if not safe, at least defensible place to lay low after the events that just occurred. As the horse-drawn cart rattles back and forth along the main road, Irina, leaning on Ismark's shoulder, in a deep, almost peaceful sleep. Casimir telling stories behind the reins. Serena, you notice that the air around you begins to get colder. As you leave Valaki, the mists that are rising above and all around you appear to encroach around your cart, obscuring your view heavily. And it isn't long before you start hearing the sound of running water. And as the cart crosses over a rickety wood bridge made of wood planks, it bounces back and forth. You see a faint light ahead. The road comes to an X intersection with branches to the northwest, to the northeast, to the southwest, and southeast. The lower half of a snapped wooden signpost thrusts upward at an angle near the eastern elbow of the intersection. The top half of the sign, featuring arms pointing in 4 directions, lies in weeds underneath the signpost. But a little more notably, you see a set of 4 individuals that are camping at this crossroads. Not Vistani. These individuals are dressed in leather armor, not armed, but their shoes and pants appear to be in rags and have signs of intense wear and tear. And as these figures stand up and notice your approach, the story is yours. What would you like to do?
Okay. So the mists have come in. I guess I would look at the map and try to reorient myself to figure out where we could be.
So, you have traveled from Valaki and can see the snow. I need to zoom in a lot more. Alright, there we go. You have traveled from Valaki along the main road. The Vistani encampment is in a hillside that's surrounded by forest somewhere around there. And you have continued along this road, across the bridge, and now you were at this intersection.
I was confused. I thought the way you described the mist is like, oh no, did we get transported to somewhere else? Oh no. Okay. Well, I guess I would look at the people. They don't seem dangerous. You said they weren't armed.
Yeah. Make a perception check.
Okay. Perception. Oh, I guess I need an icon. There you go. Okay, now perception. 13.
Respectable. You take a look at these individuals, and they seem very toned and well built, like farmhands or warriors. You see that there are 3 men, all in similar drags and garbs. One of them has leather armor, but at the head, you notice that there is a tall woman. Short hair on one side, completely shaved on the other. Adorned in a little more fancy armor. And at this point you notice that both Irina and Ismark are fast asleep. And Casimir looks behind and says, May have some trouble.
Well, we don't know if they're hostile or not. Let's try not to create trouble. I guess Serena, she's honestly the journey she's been, a bit quiet with everything that's happened. But she seems a lot calmer now, having gotten out of the entire Valaki situation, and everyone's safe and alive. So Serena is just gonna try to be her normal, friendly self as much as possible that she can be right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's meeting new people. She's gonna try to put a smile on that face.
Yeah. And right around now, as you draw closer, you notice that one of those men reaches down into a bundle and takes out a spear and uses it to arch himself up, and a deep voice calls out, "Who goes there? through the chilled mist, you see the large man in drab clothing, wearing the tattered gray cloak, and his shaggy black hair and thick mutton chops kind of blow in the wind a little bit. And he leans heavily on a spear. And right around now, you notice that a small bundle of animal pelts is slung under his shoulder that you thought was just a little more... that was a cloak, but as you're getting closer, the silhouette that of these individuals starts to become a little more detailed as you make your way through the mist.
Hello. We're just travelers.
Yeah, good day. Hold. Whoa. The horse lets out a whinny. And he looks over at the woman, who stands up, looks over the cart. Well, this is fortuitous, I would say. I don't suppose you have any bandages or first aid equipment of any kind.
Oh, is someone hurt?
And you look at the man that is leaning on the spear, and you notice that there is a gigantic gash on his leg that resembles that of an animal bite.
Oh no. Well, I don't carry bandages per se. I don't really need to. Here, let me see what I can do to help. And she gets off the cart, and she will use. Have they had a rest? How much time has it been since they've been traveling?
I'll say it's probably been a few hours on the road.
Okay, would that be like a short rest?
Yeah,
or?
oh yeah, short rest easily.
Okay. Because I'm trying to see replenishes when you take a long rest. Oh boy. Okay. So we're a little burnt, but we'll be okay. Okay. So I'll go ahead and use a level 2 cure wounds.
Level 2. Okay, go ahead and roll that healing.
9 points.
9 points. You lay your hands on this individual, and your hands glow, and the wound sucks into itself, and he wipes away the blood flakes, and the wound is completely gone. And they all look very wide-eyed. What just... Huh. And the woman kneels down and examines it very closely. Are you a priest? Is that what this is?
And at first she would just say no, but then she thinks about it again, and she remembers the amulet she was wearing. She's like, no, that's not the right word. I have been dubbed a paladin of the Morning Lord by a priest.
Huh. The Morning Lord, you say? Well, two sides of the same coin, I suppose. Regardless of who you worship, it is very much so appreciated. How do you feel? I feel good. Like, really good. And he stands up and stops leaning on the spear.
Glad.
Ismark shakes awake. What the hell? Why are we stopped? And he starts looking at these 4 individuals. One of them with a spear in his hand. Gets really alert really fast.
Ismark, it's fine. Don't worry. Calm down.
All right. What's going on? Don't worry about it, kid. Don't worry. Just sit back down. Let Serena handle this. Right. And Ismark sits back down, now keeping his sword right, leaning on his shoulder. Irina has not woken up. Well, it was very fortunate. I thought we were going to be stranded here for a long time, but with this, we should be able to get back home rather quickly. And, she heads back to her bag and puts it on her back. Hey, boys, do we have any coin or anything like that? No, nothing like that. I think we spent all of it when we went to Valaki. How much was that doll that you got the kid? That is none of your concern.
And Serena is just smiling, but like glancing at Casimir, like, oh, that's awkward. She's not gonna say anything, but
yeah.
There's a very awkward look on her face right now.
So they bicker back and forth for a little bit, and eventually, he's like, "All right, well, Zalekia will probably be worried about us, so we should hurry along our way. Which way are you headed?"
Us? Oh, we were trying to go to a place, Lake Baratok?
Oh, you're heading north then.
Yeah, northwest.
Perfect. We hail from... And she stops for a minute, like she was going to say something, and then stops. We hail from Kresik. An abbey near there. If you would like, I know it's not much, but we are a hunting party. Maybe, if you would like, we could at least travel alongside the wagon, strengthen numbers and all that. And you've heard that line before.
Yeah. Also, she mentioned Kresik, which last thing Serena heard has like this really creepy abbey cult over there. So she's like, normally she would just be like, sure, but seeing the recent circumstances, now she's hesitant. And she's wondering whether or not these people really are trustworthy or not. So
make an insight check.
Yeah. 8.
Kind of hard to read. It's really hard to say. You can definitely. The woman has a very warm smile, if not gruff, from scars of many different battles. You see that there are claw marks, but also marks that are more clean that resemble that of blades. She looks like she's been through some fights, but as far as her intent, kind of hard to tell.
Normally, I would be happy to have new people join us. It's just, we've all gone through, a lot of things lately, so we're a little more hesitant, to trust new people at the moment. I guess I would want to make sure that you all are friendly and trustworthy before allowing our groups to join together.
Well, she walks up to the cart and outstretches her calloused hand. My name is Vincencia. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I don't recognize your garb, actually. Where are you from? Barovia, the village. Far away. You've traveled some way. Well, now we know each other. I suppose that's all I can really do. What is your name? Sorry.
Oh, mine. Hi, I'm Serena. And she goes ahead and outstretches her hand.
Very firm handshake. a little too firm for your comfort as you realize that her nails are actually quite sharp and dig into your arm ever so slightly. Not like she's trying to, but like more of an accidental scratch.
She has natural claws.
Yes, basically.
She's one of those people that have like claws for fingernails.
Yep.
You know, whenever they're typing on the keyboard, it goes click, 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 click.
Exactly. Well, if you do not wish to travel with us, I will not impose. I know what it is like to have someone that is distrusting. A woman back at our abode. She is very hateful and very resentful of a lot of things these days. So I would not hold it against you, but I am afraid that we don't have much more we can offer.
And she kind of looks at the group again.
Ezmark mutters, "No one ever does anything out of the goodness of their hearts in Barovia."
Well, there was one. What about Father Petrovic?
He was scared. Always has been.
Well, everyone is scared. But he did something about it.
Father Lucian might have been the closest that I've seen. But I'm sure even he has some sort of ulterior motive.
What about the innkeeper?
He openly said that he expected something in return for what he's doing for us. We just have to wait and see for what that is. You're too trusting, Serena.
Suppose so.
You really are a bummer, aren't you? Yeah, I am. Irina opens her eyes, wipes them, and looks at everything in the dazed look that she's had since the event. Almost like she doesn't acknowledge what she's seeing.
Irina? Are you awake? And she goes and looks at Irina.
She stretches out and looks at you with a blank expression at first, and then that blank expression turns into a bright one as a faint smile comes on her face.
How are you feeling, Irina?
She nods.
Okay. I'm glad to see that you're okay.
And who is this one? And the woman looks over and notices Irina under the blankets. And you notice a visible, cock of the head in acknowledgement. All right. Doesn't speak much?
No, not really. She's been through a lot lately.
Understood. Hey, boys, do you have any of the booze left? Oh, come on. Of course we do. We brought plenty for everyone else. Well, maybe that would do her some good.
Well, I'm not sure if and she's looking at Ismark and Casimir probably not a good idea.
Ismark nods in agreement. Casimir's
thank you so much for the offer, but I think she'll be all right without it.
We must do something for you. As your companion said, it is rude to get something and not give in return.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment. Alright, how about this? We can travel separately together.
I do not follow.
Like we'll keep, I guess, a distance away from each other, but we'll still be close enough where if anything were to happen, we can still find each other until we reach, our destinations.
Alright. It's fair. Did you want to go ahead, or did you want us to go ahead? Because either way, if there needs to be some distance, one of us would need to stay here.
You can go right on ahead.
Alright. It's fair. You said you were going to, Lake, Baratok, yes?
Yes.
How about we meet you there? And, if something goes wrong, then we will be there. We know generally how long that should take, and we will come back if something happens. And after you get to your destination, we will be on our way.
That sounds great.
Perfect. I have never done anything like this before. You are very ingenuitive. You were very smart.
Thank you.
All right.
No one's ever called me smart before. That's nice.
All right. Boys, get your shit together. Come on. And she claps, and the men stand up. All right. Well, we'll see you in no sooner than a day, I would hope.
Great. See you then.
Enjoy the campsite. We have not broken it down yet. It is ready and available for use. And they get up and they start walking down the northern path.
Oh, thank you. I honestly, I think all of us need a rest. Well, goodbye, I guess. And she waves.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. We're to the people.
Yeah. Mother Night, watch over you.
And, yeah, I guess, it would be nice to take a break.
As leans in, are we really gonna camp here? Shouldn't we just go the other way and maybe loop around?
Go the other way?
Well,
Why?
I mean, there's still plenty of time in the day. If we head into the woods, we would get to our destination sooner.
We might get there sooner, but do we really want to run into trouble? I mean, the woods, the last time we tried to... Actually, how much much daylight do we have? And how much time
I'll
would
say
it take?
between this is the same day that you were run out of Valaki, that you got Casimir, and arranged all of your traveling stuff. And if you've been on the roads for a few hours, taking all of that into account, I'll say it's probably sometime in the later part of the afternoon.
Okay, so, like, we got maybe several hours before we need to camp.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess it's like, well, here's the option. We either use the camp here, or we continue forward, go into the middle of the forest, and camp in the middle of the forest. Unless we move at a breakneck pace and try to get to the lake by tonight, which I don't know if that's possible.
Casimir pipes up. That is a good point. I don't like the idea of traveling at night myself.
Right. I mean, I do have a spell that I could use where we essentially would be able to create our own camp whenever we want without fear of being attacked in the middle of the night, but still, being in the woods at nighttime is not preferable.
Well, what do you want to do, Serena?
Okay, so on the map, where are we?
Where I just put the X. You're at the crossroads.
We're right here?
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Okay, so if I was to call like a time, like 3-4 o'clock.
Make me an intelligence check.
Let's see, this is okay. Where's the sun?
It's
20.
Yeah, it is.
I know the date, time.
Yeah, it is
down to the seconds.
The sun is always heavily obscured by fog. It is always slightly dark here. But taking the time to remember how the sun has moved in this place since you've been here, you reckon it's probably close to like 5 o'clock, maybe 4.
Okay, 4 or 5 o'clock. It's gonna be dark in maybe 2-3 hours then. And in the woods, it's gonna be even darker. I think they should make a little bit of time into the woods, but not too deep.
All right. So we're heading further in then?
Yeah, just not in the middle of the woods.
Are we looping around or are we following these folks?
Well, I suppose if we wait... Let's see. If we camp now, we could use the daylight tomorrow to cut through the woods, through the shorter route. I don't mind taking the shorter route, it's just I would rather have it be all daytime, if we do.
Well, what do we want? What are we doing? You're the expert.
I'm not an expert at anything, okay? I think let's go through the inner route. Just a little bit. Not too far.
The inner route being north?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you wait a bit for the people that are on foot, mind you. So if you go up there, they just left, you are going to catch up with them pretty fast. Being on a pulled cart with a horse. So, you make your way up, and eventually you do catch up with them, and I will say you have an awkward exchange about your plans, and then they continue onward. And then you settle down, and you wait for them to continue on ahead. And you find a decent spot to camp near the trail of this claustrophobic wood. Is there anything that you would like to do while you were camped here?
Well, I am going to use the tiny hut move.
Yes.
Yes. Finally get to use this spell.
Perfect.
And so Serena, she's like, okay, so I learned a new spell, and I want to try it tonight, you guys. And she pulls out some sheet music, and she like looks at it, and it's a spell for the tiny hut, and she casts it, and yeah, as she plays the song, all of a sudden this just dome of existence just appears around them, and it's the craziest thing they've ever seen. They just basically watched a house appear out of nowhere. There's just a house around them. Wow.
Yeah.
And there's like this ethereal like look to the walls. It's very strange.
Yes. It is it is a 10-foot wide dome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you play this beautiful song and a dome forms around you, and they look at it quizzically and approach it. And do you consider them friendly creatures and allow them to interact with it?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're all friendly creatures.
Yeah,
Even the horses.
So they put their hand on it and it goes straight through. Well, I don't see quite how this would be useful. It looks nice.
No, don't worry. You guys can pass through, just nobody else. Or animals.
Really? Huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and
like if I decided that let's say I decide I don't like you anymore.
Okay.
Get out.
And Ismark tries to touch the bubble, and it's solid. Huh. Interesting.
All right. Yeah. I think this will work. At least we won't have to, wake up in the middle of the night fearing for our lives.
That sounds incredible. Honestly, that was the worst part of traveling on the road.
Yes, it was, and that's why I needed to learn this song.
Perfect.
So that didn't happen again.
Irina, come on. Ducks Irina in, lays down the bedding on the ground, and sets up like a little festival blanket setup. The ground beneath you is fairly dry, still moist from the dew from the constant mist. And as the sun begins to set into the dark Barovian night, the fog creeps closer and closer to the orb until you can barely see the trees right next to the dome. Is there anything that you would like to do before you call it a night?
I guess just... I don't know. I guess I, would check up on Irina again. And then other than that, just regular Song of Rest and get ready to sleep.
Okay. Irina is sitting curled up in her own blankets. That same distant look in her eyes. She still hums on occasion, but that's calmed down a lot more.
Well, Serena at this point isn't 100% sure what else to do. She's not a psychologist. She's not a therapist. She has no idea. So she just, makes sure that Irina's all right, and she seems all right. Then she would just try to help them both get some sleep.
All right. As sleep takes you, you have horrible, horrible nightmares. Images of what you have seen since you've arrived in Barovia flash before your eyes. It's awful. But then you feel a warmth come from the holy symbol around your neck, and things calm down a bit. And you dream of nothing, which is the best dream that you can imagine having right now. But eventually, you are awoken. As the part of the dome that your head is right next to, you hear a dun, 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 on the dome.
And she looks at whatever in the world is knocking on at the dome.
You look and you see almost blending in with the mist. A woman, dressed in a bright white wedding gown, a bright gold choker around her neck, gold bangles dangling at her wrists, and a clawed gauntlet that has shown recent signs of use at one side. And tight, dreadlocked hair that seems very neatly done. And she is tapping on the dome with her gauntlet. And as soon as she sees that you're awake, she lets out a grin. And her mouth starts to move. And as of now, you can block out sound. So it's up to you whether or not you want to even hear what this individual is saying.
Well, she wishes she could just go back to sleep and ignore the situation, but, you know, adrenaline is starting to pump. So that's not going to happen. So she gets up, and has anybody else woken or no?
Nope. She is being very gentle. Tapping very gently on the glass.
Okay.
Like she's trying to address you specifically.
Okay. She's going to move to a side of the dome that no one else is near, and she's going to go ahead and allow sound.
And mid-sentence you hear, "Been looking for you for a long time."
Who are you?
Like I said before, I'm sorry. Everyone is sleeping. I do not want to wake anyone.
There was no sound coming through either way.
Oh,
so.
I understand. And that is just a bit of miscommunication.
Yeah.
I am Diona. And
Diona?
Yeah, Diona. I am looking for someone. Perhaps you have seen them?
Who are you looking for?
A Vistani woman dressed in bright garb, long hair, blade and axe at her side. Red headband. Missing leg. But it has been replaced with some kind of construct. Kind of hard to miss.
I've never met anyone like that.
Oh. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm quite curious, did you get married today?
Oh, this? No. I just like wearing this. This is, reminds me of happier times, I suppose you could say.
Alright. Well, I'm so sorry. I've not seen whoever you are looking for. Are you alone? And she's like looking around like, we're kind of in a forest.
You're in the middle of nowhere. And the fog has crept completely around the dome. You can just barely see branches from the canopy above and all around you, but your vision is heavily obscured, like you're in a blizzard.
Okay, well, that makes it even worse, because she's gonna say, it's kind of possibly dangerous out here. Are you going to be all right?
I would agree, it is quite cold out here. Would you mind maybe
I was expecting you to say more. How did you get out here? And now Serena's a little suspicious. There's okay, so basically this is what Serena's thinking. Normally, she would be happy to help anyone, but here is this weird lady in a wedding gown searching for some lady with a prosthetic leg in the middle of the night. She's by herself. How did she get here?
Yeah.
Who is this lady? Why did she decide? How can she even see? How did she even see the dome?
I am looking.
That's a new question.
I am looking for the woman. She caused some trouble for my husband, and I am just merely trying to find her. That's it. That is all I am doing. It's a personal matter. It is quite...
Serena's thinking, like, wait a minute. She literally goes back to her stuff, pulls out the sheet music, and there's a description of like the actual spell on the back of the music of like every single little thing that it does. And she reads it like, wait a minute, I did this spell right? And then she looks back at the lady and she puts her sheet music away and returns back to the woman and says, how are you able to see us?
Oh, the dome is visible. It's, I don't know, what color is it? The dome stays visible. It remains a color of your choice, but it's opaque.
Ah, I thought okay, so it's not invisible. It's literally a colored dome.
Yeah. Think of it like just a solid block of color, unless you want it to be transparent.
I wanted it to be like invisible, transparent.
Well,
so
then
no one can see from the outside.
Well,
yeah.
Well, if it's transparent, then she would still be able to see what's inside of it.
Ah, okay. Well, then I guess I would just make it black because that would make it the most difficult to see.
Yeah.
So, and with the vision like around.
Yeah, but
how in the world would you see this?
Well, I would understand if you would feel uncomfortable letting me inside, but I'm merely looking for her, and it is nice that I stumbled upon you. I think I know who you are. You're the woman that made all the hubbub in Valaki, yes?
I possibly, and Serena's like, what is, she's like weirded out, like what is going on right now?
Maybe you've met an associate of mine, no sense of style, bright red dress, carries around a terrible and fashion statement of a sword cane, resembles an umbrella.
Actually, I might have met someone like that. Why do you ask?
Oh, because I was hoping that I could maybe convince you to kill her for me.
What? Why? What? And okay, now Serena is just like, what is going on? Who are you?
Like I said. And she gives a curtsy, grabbing her wedding dress by the sharp clawed gauntlet on one side and her dainty little fingernails on the other. I am Diona.
Tiana or Diona?
Diona.
Diona. Diona, you said your husband was lords of this land.
He doesn't like me using his last name. I would love to, but it makes him upset.
Are we talking Lord of, like, Krezik? Or Valaki?
No. Surely you know the king of this place.
Okay, and now, okay, Serena's getting super nervous now, and she says, I thought he already had a wife.
That is what I am trying to address. He should only have one wife. And she leaves a very aggravated smile.
You're telling me that he has multiple wives? And he still, oh my gosh, and he still wants another wife. Are you kidding?
I know, right? It's insanity. I should be the only one.
And Serena's like running her hands through her hair, like stressed out, like, what is going on? Okay. The other wife, yes. I met her.
Would you be willing to kill her for me?
I won't say no.
Well, I did not intend on running into you. I am here on a separate matter entirely, but here you are. So I figured I might as well ask. She did some very horrible things. She was recently turned, and she, in turn, turned her friends that were still alive, hoping that they could spend eternity together. And then you killed all of them, and she did some bad things that our beloved did not ask her to do. She is being disciplined as we speak, but she will be around after that is done, and she will likely hunt you down and make you suffer beyond anything that you would ever imagine. I figured we would avoid that and have you kill her before she makes your life a living hell.
And she looks back at, Irina sleeping, and she turns back to Diona and asks, wait, what was her name? Amelia?
That's the bitch.
Was she not ordered to stop what was happening to Irina?
She was. And then she proceeded to psychologically torment her for hours. That did not sit too well with my beloved.
Right. Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I have no love for that woman that you bear. And she lets out a toothy grin, which you now see two bright white fangs show. But one thing at a time. I think that woman won't be too much trouble. If the last 100 years are anything to go by, she will go away on her own. However, Amelia and Beatrice, they stay, and they need to go.
All right. Look, you seem at least friendlier than the last wife I encountered.
Thank you. I am much more composed. Being dead for much longer does that to you. I love your outfit, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Some of the Vistani of the land gave it to me. my first one got ruined from my
That's
homeland.
So tragic. Tell me, what is your style preference? Maybe I could bring you something. If I see you again. I sometimes take walks around the land. Do you have any food that you're missing from your homeland or anything like that?
I don't think any food like that is available from Ramel, but okay, look, I'm glad I'm able to talk with you in a civil matter. It's just, if you are also a wife of Strahd's, I don't know if I can trust you either.
Don't get me wrong, darling. We are going to fight each other at some point, but that doesn't mean that we can't be friends before then.
Serena pauses for a second, like...
I have no intention of harming you. That is my husband's doing. He wants to torture you like a child on an anthill. That is just my beloved's hobby. It's a little childish, if you don't mind me saying. Don't tell him. I said that, seriously. Don't tell him. But...
all right.
But I'm not like that. And until you come to grips with fighting my beloved, which may not even happen, I could always use more friends. And I think you could use some too, yeah?
Which may not happen.
Well, you could die before then.
Oh, yeah, that could happen.
Humans are very fragile. I mean no offense. If you would like, maybe I could,
I'm half human.
You all look the same to me, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
If you would like, I maybe could, give you, the gift of the vampiric powers. You would be stronger. I would not do that without your permission, of course, but that is something I could do.
No thank you. I would prefer to not be a vampire. She's a little appalled that this lady would literally just ask you want to be a vampire?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. You'll be stronger.
I just want this to be a friendly relationship. I mean, you are my husband's plaything, and there's nothing I can do about that. But, you know, I get lonely sometimes too. He doesn't talk to me, God knows. But, I just figured I was here. I would introduce myself, maybe ask if you would be willing to kill my competition, and maybe help each other out. I would give you things in return, of course. There are plenty of things I could get for you around the land, or maybe from your homeland.
You can travel to Ramel.
I can arrange for things to be brought from Ramel.
Actually, better not. Look, I have no love for Amelia, especially after what she's done to my friend. So, I won't swear that I will actively try to kill her, but I will consider it, certainly, after what she's done.
Here's the thing. Her movements are only going to be predictable for a little while longer. After that, she is going to hunt down anyone that is important to you and put them on spikes. And this is not a threat from me, this is just a habit that I know that she has. And if you don't care, far be it from me. I just figured you might.
Well, of course I care. How much time do you think I have before she might start doing that.
Well, she is being flayed for the 40th time today, so I think maybe maybe 2 days of that at the most.
Oh, lovely. All right, look, if she goes after my friends, then I will stop her. All right, I will do everything I can to prevent her from doing so, and if that means having to kill her, then I will.
All right. Should I send you a letter with her itinerary when she gets out?
And she looks back at the group sleeping, and she turns back to Diona and says, all right. Yeah.
Good. I am so happy. I hope you make her death horrible and painful. I knew that we would get along. And you are just as wonderful as I thought that you would be. You are so pretty.
Oh. Thank you. The other lady called me a whore, which I've never been called that before in my entire life. I was very offended.
She is the whore. Don't listen to anything that she says. And Beatrice, when you meet her, and when you do, she will most definitely rip you and your friends apart. But when you do meet her, she is a whore too. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Lovely. Wow. They all sound wonderful.
They are awful. None of them are worthy for my beloved but me.
I would have to agree, actually. Because I would prefer Irina not marry him either. And I don't like Amelia. And I haven't met Beatrice, but she doesn't sound wonderful either. So, yeah, if you can have Strahd all to yourself, that I would actually not be mad at that.
Then we can have a good relationship. See, we can be friends. We have a similar goal. I mean, I would never go against what my beloved says, so, for instance, if he told me to kill you, I would do it, but I would have the common decency to tell you that I was going to do it before I did it. No surprise or anything like that. Give you a fair chance.
How courteous.
I think so.
All right. Well, it was nice meeting you.
Likewise, she gives you another very delicate curtsy.
And Serena kind of gives a curtsy back. We're not sure how in the world this conversation is going and how it's happening. She's just weirded out by the entire situation.
Yeah, you get you get the sense that she sees you akin to like maybe a pet mouse.
A cute pet mouse.
Yeah, a very cute pet mouse.
Perfect.
That she would likely feed to her pet snake at a moment's notice. But you're still a cute pet mouse, so she'd probably feel a little bad about it.
Lovely. All right. I'm not sure what to say to you.
You don't need to say anything. I know I can be intimidating. I am just trying to be friendly in my own way. As you can imagine, I have not been human for a very long time. These expressions are more a memory of what I remember interacting with humans used to be like, to be honest. I am just trying to be nice.
Well, you are already much more amiable than the last wife I met, so good job.
Thank you.
And you look very lovely.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, when I had this dress commissioned, I thought that it was going to be one of those things that, I use once and then I never see it again, but lo and behold, I like it. It's basically the only thing I wear these days, and she gives you a little twirl.
It's quite beautiful. It's kept in wonderful shape for you having it so long.
Thank you so much. Would you like a dress? I can bring you a dress. Romelian make? I can bring you anything you like. You have been such a joy.
Well, I would love a new dress. Not a wedding dress. But I don't know. I suppose I wouldn't mind a dress of Romelian make.
I will get right on that. You can expect it in the next few days. I know it would be foolish of me. You're not going to tell me where you're going, are you? That would be stupid.
No,
yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'll find you and I'll give it to you then.
Great.
Perfect. Well, I have a rat to catch. If you see her, know that she is marked for death by my beloved. And should you keep in her company, I cannot guarantee your... what little safety you have from being Strahd's, my beloved's plaything.
Who was marked for death?
The rat, the woman that I described.
Oh, you mean your... fellow wife, sister wife?
Oh, no.
Law?
No. This is a human who broke into our home and attempted to kill us all.
What?
Right? So if you see her, we are hunting her down currently. And should you keep her company, feel free to either let my beloved or me know, or hand her over to us at Castle Ravenloft. We would be ever so grateful. But if you keep in her company, I cannot guarantee your safety. Just want you to know that.
I would like to know who this person is so I can stay away from her.
Like I said, I do not know her name, but she has bright red Vistani garments, missing leg, a hatchet, and a sword of very fine make. She can cast spells, long black raven curly hair, red headband, has a very serious look about her. She's also kind of a bitch.
All right. Thank you for telling me.
All right. So just steer clear of her, okay?
I'll be sure to do that.
Perfect.
I love your collar, by the way.
Thank you. Actually, this is a new addition. I added it around 50 years ago, and I think it provides a specific shine to these bangles, and she jingles a little bit.
Shiny.
Perfect. Well, I will not keep you. I know that humans need sleep. I did not mean to. I'm glad we did not awake anyone else, it seems. You all seem so tired. It must be so hard to fight someone as unstoppable and strong as my beloved.
Oh yeah, he's something.
Well, have a good night. I hope to see you again very soon. I will give you that Romelian dress very soon, and maybe we could have some tea or something.
Sure. I would love tea.
Perfect. Well, good night. And walks through the mud on her broken high heels. Her ankles sometimes going through the mud, and then every once in a while she takes a skip, like she's bouncing on water, and then lands gracefully without making a sound. And then her footsteps disappear before her silhouette does. And as her form turns into a faint shadow in the mist, she's gone.
Serena just stares after her, wondering if what she experienced was a dream or not. But she knows it's not. This is too crazy for it to even be a dream. And she goes back to her mat and she tries to go back to sleep, but it's not happening. It's not happening.
You make me a wisdom saving throw.
7.
As you go back to sleep, you swear you hear the tap, 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 tap on your dome, and you look up, and there's nothing there. And then you try to go back to sleep. Tap, 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 and this keeps happening. And it's awful.
She's too nervous to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, is a third wife gonna appear?
Mm-hmm.
Is Beatrice around the corner now?
Yeah. I will say.
Maybe another part of Strahd's harem has joined us today.
Yes. Yeah. Eventually, the exhaustion does overcome you, and you have a wonderful, well-needed rest, albeit extremely forced. And you wake up, as people often do when you're sleeping in a 10 by 10 square with 4 people, with a kick to the face, as someone accidentally seems to have just nudged you, but and you're awake.
A 10-foot radius.
So, so actually, that's
a 20.
Okay, yeah, that's a little better.
Yeah, I was just like,
okay, we'll still say.
I'm like, this is a 10-foot? How can 9 people stay in here?
Yeah. So, very cozily, but you notice that Ismark has rolled off from under his mat, and his foot is right in your face.
And she springs awake.
Mm-hmm. It is daylight.
And she looks around.
It is what resembles daylight in this place.
Great. And she looks around. Who else is awake?
No one.
I mean, Serena would love to sleep in, but she's pretty much gonna spend the time from her waking up to everyone else waking up planning of how to approach telling them of what just happened last night. So yeah, she's just gonna get herself ready. She might even prepare some breakfast for herself and everybody else. Yeah.
All right. So eventually everyone comes to. Casimir goes towards the horse and the wagon and hitches the horse back up. And everyone seems to be going about their daily lives their daily rituals, their morning rituals. And Casimir in particular taking a big drag of a similar but dissimilar looking pipe from the Vistani that gave you a ride when you first arrived. This one is short and has a lot of elven ruins and characters carved on the sign and like depictions of nature. It's a very beautiful pipe. And the morning is yours.
Well, okay, so first of all, I want to say last night I would have cast a good berries spell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in case we need them good berries.
Naturally. Everyone knows the drill, comes one by
Everyone
one.
knows the drill. Okay.
Eats the good berry.
There you go. Unless they just want food. You know,
Yeah.
they probably would prefer food, even though good berries work.
Yeah. But they're full.
All right. So that means I have 6 to spare?
If you've eaten one.
Well, yeah.
All right, great. There you go.
There you go. I have 6 good
Yep.
berry. Okay. Well, while, you know, everyone's getting ready, Serena is just sitting on the wagon, just crossing her arms, just trying to figure out what the best way to say this is and she can't think of anything. So she literally just announces, So I met another one of Strahd's wives last night.
Everyone looks towards you slowly in silence. A moment goes by before Ismark pipes up. Yeah, right. And hops on the wagon with Irina.
Yeah, right. What's that supposed to mean?
We've all been under a lot of stress lately. That's all it means.
You don't believe me.
After the one bride that we've met, yes, I would have a hard time believing that she would be subtle.
No, I met another one of Strahd's wives.
What?
I am just as shocked as you. Apparently, he has 3 wives.
You hear Casimir chuckle. That's... What a way to live.
Y'all live here in this land. Y'all didn't know about this? Okay. Well, according to second wife, or is she second? Is she first wife? Apparently, she's the oldest one. But anyway, so apparently he has 3 wives and still wants Irina. He could probably have maybe 500 other people, as far as I know, that he hasn't married. We don't know. I don't want to know.
That's quite... You know, it's hard to think about, but it almost makes him a little more relatable.
What?
I mean, he actually has something that resembles human desires. That's kind of... Do you not get that same impression?
She literally stares at him like he said something really stupid, because he has.
Yeah, and
she literally just points to Irina like...
It was half a joke. I'm more just trying to make light of a very dire situation.
Right, okay. Well, clearly he has maybe a little bit more than a regular, human desire. If he has just this menagerie of women.
Casimir is just inconsolably laughing at this point. This is pretty funny, you have to admit.
Why? And now she's like smiling.
Yeah, exactly. And Ismark starts laughing.
Why?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, I guess this is what he does on his spare time. This is his hobby. Collecting people.
Or torturing them. And Ismark gets a little more glum.
Well, apparently the wife that I met last night, she doesn't seem tortured. She just seems, neglected?
Oh, I feel so bad for her.
Well, she was wearing the wedding dress that she wore on her wedding day, so that, I don't know. She was very pretty, though, but yeah. Anyway, she was actually quite civil compared to the first wife.
Perfect. Why do we care?
Because she told me that the first wife, Amelia, she's currently being flayed by Strahd.
Like I said, tortured, and that little shred of humanity that I imagined him having is now gone.
And the second wife, her Diona, that was her name. Diona, she said that after her torture was done, there was a very good chance that Amelia would try to torture the friends that we've made along the way. And Diona essentially asked me to kill her.
Essentially?
Okay, she quite directly asked me if I could kill her.
That sounds a little bit more like a vampire.
Yeah. She also offered to make me a vampire if it made it easier to have her be killed, but I politely declined her offer.
It's probably wise. And Casimir is still just chuckling to himself. 3 wives.
All right.
Should we continue on our way? The horses are ready to go.
I suppose we can continue talking on the road.
Yeah. Crack of the whip. So you relay the information, and Ismark eventually, like, yeah, that's way too detailed for you to be bullshitting me.
Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I'm creative. I'm not that creative.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, what's the plan? She's gonna send you a letter, give you a dress, and then we're gonna go kill one of Strahd's brides. I mean, the way I see it, that's not exactly a bad thing. I think I mean, don't trust her, of course. Like that'd be dumb. But if what she says is true, it's mutually beneficial.
Right. Because, she's asking me to kill her to get rid of competition. But it's also beneficial for us to kill her because we don't want her essentially torturing all of our friends.
So why not?
Honestly, it's not that I don't want to necessarily. I mean, I want to stop her from harming any of the friends we've made. It's just, can't help but wonder if there's some other problem that might arise from us killing her. Would Strahd even care? Or would he care supremely and then just try to kill us all immediately?
That is true. All things considered, he really hasn't done all that much to us. I mean,
I know.
He sent the bride, but then she took an extra step. And from what you said, that extra step wasn't his order. So what's he planning? What's he waiting for?
It just sort of sounds like, well, it's like both of the wives have said. He's toying with me, toying with all of us. For fun.
Playing with his food.
But I'm wondering if us killing one of his wives, whether that would change the situation. I feel like it would.
If he got angry with us, I think you're right. I think it would stop being a game and more
of a challenge.
He'd want to judging by how he acts, having 3 wives, ruling over the land of Barovia with fear and taking away hope slowly. He likes to flex. So I think that if he got the sense that he likes to flex his power.
Ah, sorry, that's not really a term Romelians use.
Yeah, it's a Barovian thing. Anyway. And if he feels like he's losing control of the situation, that's when he could become very dangerous.
Right, when he actually becomes serious about us being a threat. I doubt he sees this as a threat at all.
Which is odd, because you are increasing in power at an incredible rate.
Am I? I don't feel like it.
You have clearly more than doubled in power since I've met you. And he holds up a sword. Shink. Other than you using your healing powers and my wounds closing when we have an hour to sit, swings a sword around, I really haven't changed much.
Well, even if I am increasing in power, I don't think I'm any match for Strahd at this moment. I can barely keep up with his lackeys and his wives.
So, what you're saying is maybe his wives would be a good practice round.
I didn't come to that conclusion, but now that you mention it... I suppose so.
Well, either way, you're right. There is a risk attached to that. I think the risk is, after we kill one of his wives, there is a chance that this will no longer be a game to him and he will come at us hard.
Right.
So, we should be careful.
Or, I don't know. What if he doesn't like her? We might be doing him a favor, and then he would be really happy about it.
It's
and
true.
Then he would just give up.
Why don't we send him a letter? Ask for permission to kill his wife.
Do you mean that as a joke or seriously?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I thought you were serious for a second. I
No.
wasn't sure. Because I don't know, that could work. Although he would probably be alarmed. Would he even be alarmed? And she like looks around like he could be listening at this moment. We don't know. Like,
You look around and you notice that single raven still circling overhead.
well, anyway, I suppose we shouldn't think about it too much. If it happens and we end up killing Amelia, I suppose it happens.
Great. Then we'll address it when it comes. Whoa, 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 whoa! And pulls back on the reins. And you see blood mingled with mud. Beast tracks. Large paw prints. Intercept and walk across the road several times as pools of crimson bellow up from the pools of moisture that are gathered up from the morning. You see that there was a sign of a struggle. But more than anything, the red mixed with the brown and black muck stretches out like a colorful watercolor painting. Casimir looks around nervously into the foggy wood. Can't see anything through this damn mist.
I was thinking of using Firebolt as a source of light, but I don't think that would work. That's an attack.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
you
see,
see
prestidigitation.
Yeah.
So,
and even with your passive perception, you see that the trail clearly goes one way. Like there was a clash on the road, and then it was drawn out into the woods.
right. Well, we really need to get out of these woods before the end of the day, so I guess we should be careful and try to continue forward. There's clearly something dangerous here.
Great. You won't hear any any resistance from me. She cracks the whip again. And Irina nervously and begins to shake a little bit at the sight of the blood. Ismark grabs her gently and holds her close, and he eyes the trail that is leading into the wood. Never seen tracks like those before.
Do they look like anything?
Take a look. As you go over. Make me a nature check.
All right, well, let's see if Serena knows anything. A 15.
An exotic creature, to be sure. You know that nobles house these creatures as kind of a way to show how wealthy they are, and then oftentimes neglect them. These are tiger tracks.
All right. They look like a tiger.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what a tiger is?
No.
Are there no tigers in Barovia?
Apparently not. Why?
No large cats?
Why are you talking to me like I'm an idiot?
It's just, I'm sorry. It's kind of surprising.
Okay, read a lot of books, lived here a long time. I don't know what a tiger is, okay?
Are there no other large cats?
Not really. Mostly wolves.
Well, imagine a cat,
Okay.
but times 30, like a giant cat, really strong.
That's a big cat.
With stripes.
That's a dumb sounding cat. Why would they have stripes? That doesn't make sense. Are you making fun of me again?
No, they exist. Okay. Well, clearly one exists in Barovia, because this is a tiger track, as far as I can tell.
I don't know whether or not you're fucking with me, and I've stopped caring. And
I'm
he sits back down.
Okay, fine. Fine, don't believe me. And then when you see the tiger, and then I'll be like, there, that's the tiger, okay?
Sure.
Memorize it, learn it.
Sure.
Never forget it.
And you continue along your merry way. And eventually, the mist clears. And you make your way towards your destination.
We made it there without dying?
You did.
Without being eaten by a tiger? Ow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. So, the wood around you begins to open up. The mist clears. And you see the group of rugged-looking individuals sitting around there, throwing rocks back and forth, and they wave as they see you come through the forest. You come to an old mountain lake, enclosed by misty woods and rocky bluffs. Thick fog creeps across the dark, still waters. The trail ends at a grass-covered causeway that stretches 100 yards across the lake to a flat, marshy island with a stone tower on it. The tower is old and decrepit, with collapsing scaffolding clinging to one side where a large gash has split the wall. Time-worn griffin statues, their wings and flanks covered with moss, perch atop the buttresses that support the walls. Parked near the base of the tower, within sight of the entrance, is a barrel-topped wagon, spattered with mud. So this was the place that the bard told us to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like someone's here.
Yeah. When Sensia approaches you, friend, hello. So glad to see that you made it okay. How was the trek? Anything interesting happen? Hope not.
Well, it was, we had some trouble sleeping, but overall the trip was fine.
Perfect. And you notice that there's one less of them than you remember. Well, thank you so much. I would consider this debt repaid, but if you ever find your way to Krezik area, we don't actually live in the town per se, more near it, but maybe we'll see each other again someday.
Sure. Well, it's nice to see you all again.
Yep. Mother might be with you. And she motions for the two men to follow her with the skins and bags filled with various goods in tow.
And she waves goodbye, but she does notice that there's somebody missing. And she like looks back into the forest of like what happened with like the blood. And she didn't want to be the person to ask like, "Hey, your dude's gone. Is he dead? Was he mauled by a tiger? Was he eaten alive?" Like, I feel like that would have been a little bit of a downer. So Serena just kind of connects the dots, and until proven otherwise, is going to assume that's what happened.
Yep. All right. So, you see the tower in front of you. Casimir looks at the muddy road. The wagon might get stuck in this. Probably should leave that on the outskirts.
Yeah, that's fine.
But then again, that wagon seems okay. I'll just leave it here.
Right. I assume that's the Bard's wagon. Right?
I don't remember him having a wagon.
Well, he mentioned that he would meet us here. So who else would be here?
The inn was pretty small. I think we would have noticed a wagon that looks as exorbitant as that. It looks like...
I suppose so.
And Casimir finished his sentence. Vistani.
She thinks for a moment. Rictavio was Vistani, right?
He was not. I mean, he was not. He wasn't wearing the garb. Unless he wasn't dressed like it, but no. Did he talk like me? Did he have this kind of a sound to him?
She thinks for a moment, like, because she assumed he was Vistani. And she thinks for a second and says, "You know what? I don't remember him having your accent." Huh. Well, if he's not Vistani, then that's interesting. I think we should go visit the tower.
Sure.
And try to figure all this out.
Sure. And Ismark leans on a sword to get up, and Irina grabs his sleeve and looks up at him. That same, like, childlike glance with fear in her eyes. You don't want to go? And she just nods, no. How about you and Casimir go? I'll stay with Irina.
All right. I don't think there's anything else out here, but, be careful. If anything happens, please, hurry and rush and meet us.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
run outside.
We're in eyesight. It'll be fine.
All right.
All right, well,
let's go.
Let's go. And he hops off the wagon. His feet stepping into deep sledge as this bridgeway to this little island is probably submerged pretty heavily when it's raining, and it is thick with muck. It ain't solid at all.
Ew. I'm gonna ruin my boots.
Yeah.
What if Serena ruins her boots? She's gonna need new ones. Ew.
I love the fact that, D&D, and you're like, my clothes, my boots.
What about my boots? I mean, she can clean them instantly, but, I still don't want to get mud on them.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Work.
Casimir is trudging through, not caring, and you are clearly hesitating stepping into this mud.
Serena's gonna just try her best to get the least amount of, mud on her shoes as
Make
possible.
me a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand check? 11.
You try to balance your way along the various rocks and logs. Actually, I'll make it acrobatics. So take that roll. Is it the same thing?
Well, let's see. It would be a +5.
Okay, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, so it'd be the same thing.
You hop around, trying your best not to hop in the mud. Casimir looks back at you with a very judgmental look on his face.
What? I don't want to get mud on my shoes.
And he rolls his eyes and continues and makes his way to the other side. Just as you hop to another rock, your feet slip, and your boots go into the muck.
Dang it. And, she pulls herself out, and she's so miserable. Talking to vampires is not even that bad. Compared to mud on her shoes, ugh.
Perfect.
Nothing more miserable for her. Okay, she's suffering right now.
Yeah, so...
Okay, it's a unique kind of pain.
Yes. So much empathy. I feel for her. So, you make your way across the entranceway. The gap, the bridge.
Yeah. And she uses prestidigitation, clean her shoes, clean herself immediately.
Yeah, yep. And your feet and everything is cleaned spotlessly, as it always is. But for some reason, you're still worried that it won't every time that you do it.
You never know if the stain's never going to come out. Okay. Yep. Even with magic.
Yep. So, you approach the tower and you see the wagon on the far side, the scaffolding, the tower that I described, and you get a closer look at the door, and you see this.
Okay. Cool.
So what's going on with all this? You're meeting your friend here or something like that?
I suppose, I think he told me there was going to be a puzzle. And she just stares at it. She has no idea what in the world she's looking at. I don't know if I should make an Arcana check or something, or...
Sure, make me an Arcana check.
A natural 20. Never mind.
So you notice a few things. You start to hone into that sense that you have being attuned to the magic around you and expressing it in song and recently in divine expressions. And you notice something odd. A cold sensation. Like something is being taken away from you. But nothing is being taken away from you. Like the magic around this tower is keeping other magical sources from existing. And looking at this tower door, you get a sense that it is definitely magical. And with a natural 20, I will say that looking at this door's enchantment, you would know that something very bad probably happens if you get the input wrong.
Would she know how to correctly use it or solve it?
Nope.
Great.
It is enchanted, and it clearly is a kind of like a magical equivalent of a keypad.
Right,
with,
a code.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I don't know the correct symbol order or number or placement. Great. And she's literally going to, look towards the wagon.
Yep.
Because she has no idea what she's looking at with this door. Actually, she turns to Casimir. You wouldn't happen to know how to open this door, right?
Not a fucking clue. Takes another big drag.
Great. And she's gonna turn towards the wagon.
Under large layers of mud, this wagon sports a fresh coat of purple paint, and its wheels have a fancy gold trim. A brass lantern hangs from each corner, and red drapes cover a tombstone-shaped window on each side. A steel padlock secures the back door, hanging from which is a cheap wooden sign that reads, "Keep Out."
What time of day is it?
I'd say probably early afternoon.
Okay. She can't see anything inside, can she? Nothing's open. You said padlock on the back. You said a window?
Make me an investigation check.
19.
You look through the window, and you see that the interior is quite dim, but it's not because of the light, it's more because the windows are tinted, so it is very hard to see on the inside. But you see lots of silhouettes, and you get a sense that this place is very well lived in. And you squint your eyes and you try to make out what's inside. And you look toward the door. And you see that there is a wire that is taut. That's somewhere near the ceiling, and it is attached to a bundle that you cannot make out what it is. Attached to the door handle of the wagon.
Okay, so if she tries to open the door, it's probably trapped. You know what? She's just gonna go to the door and knock.
You knock?
Knock on the door, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
No response.
She's gonna knock again, but like a little bit louder, like, hello?
I don't think anyone's home. Hey! Anyone in that tower? 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 As it echoes across the lake.
Okay. Well, Serena doesn't really know anything about lock picking. She's not Claire. So, and she doesn't feel like breaking in. Like, there's nothing so important that she needs to break in. So, you know what? She'll leave it alone for now and go towards the tower. You said there was a giant, like, I'm looking at the picture. There's a giant, like, opening.
Yeah, there is a giant opening in the side of the tower. That is, scaffolding leads up to that.
Right. Serena could probably just climb up and try to use that to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. So you approach the side. Rotting wood beams support the scaffolding, which groans and creaks with the slightest breeze. A series of ladders and platforms lead to a hole in the northwest wall on the 3rd floor. As the wind is going across and hitting the tower, the scaffolding seems to shift and creak with it.
All right. Seems like it's gonna break if I spend too much time on it.
Are we breaking in? Is that what is happening?
Well, okay, breaking in or just, seeing what's inside without breaking stuff.
Okay. I am, I do not trust this scaffolding. You can go on ahead.
Okay, well, let's hope I don't see anything inside. Or if I do, it better be your bard friend. Anyway, and so she'll try to climb up carefully, but yeah.
How much does she weigh?
What did I write down for her? Did I write down anything for? Okay, I didn't write anything down. I'll just say
including her armor and her weapons.
Armor, weapon, all of it. Okay. Let's say like 150.
Dang. She is dainty AF. All right.
Well, she's not carrying a ton of heavy stuff.
Yeah. I was more just
how much heavy stuff is she carrying? The heaviest stuff she has is probably her leather armor. She has rope.
It's true. Yeah.
She has a violin, which is like a pound.
Yeah, no. I believe it. I'm more just like her more
she's
like her.
Small. She's not that big.
Yeah, in terms of like her actual like size. Okay. You make your way up the scaffolding, and
I think I put her as like she's like 4 or 5'3".
Yeah, so she's small.
She's on the smaller side.
She's on the smaller side.
Yeah, and she's not tiny.
Yeah. So you reach up and pull yourself up on the scaffolding. Go ahead and make me an acrobatics check.
A 24.
You have rolled above a 15. No. You sucked once with a roll tonight. I forget what it was. But either way, you've been rolling really well. So,
I've been rolling amazing. So I'm waiting for my natural one.
Yeah, so you make your way up the beams, and the first time you grab onto it, the wood beam cracks in your hands. You're like, oh, okay, not there. And you climb up the scaffolding little by little by little. And with the grace of a cat, make your way up to the 3rd floor. And I'm going to give you a map.
All right. Map time.
Forgive the fuzziness.
Okay.
There we go.
Ooh, it is a little fuzzy, but
it's
readable.
Yeah, it is readable. Okay. And you know what? Doesn't look that fuzzy to chat. Just looks far away. If you squint your eyes real hard,
it's just like...
Yeah,
it just looks like a circle with some blurred words.
Yeah. Time and element.
It's a tower.
Yeah. Time and elements have all but destroyed this chamber, leaving a gash in the northwest wall and a slimy black mildew on the walls. The wooden floor is completely rotted and has begun to fall away in pieces. And you notice that, for some reason this doesn't talk about, that there are chains in a square formation dangling down beneath at the center of the room.
They're just chains dangling in the center of the room?
Yeah, so there are chains dangling. Come here. You see there's like little black dots that are really fuzzy? Those are chains.
Okay, the fuzzy dots.
Yeah.
Right.
I just made them pink for you.
Are they pink? Are we looking at the same map?
Are we? I think we are. Either that or you're looking at the wrong floor.
Oh, I'm looking at the first floor.
Oh,
Got it.
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's Serena. We found her.
Yeah. And you're technically speaking, that is the, you don't see that. You just see the front door. So I should have covered that. My bad. So there you go. That's covered.
I didn't even know what I was looking at anyway.
Yeah.
It's a room.
Yeah. So there you go. Pink dots are chains.
Okay. The pink chains are in the room. Okay, so they're literally just chains. They're not shackles. They're
they're chains that are dangling to the floors beneath. You are on the 3rd floor.
Is there like an open thing in the center that the chains are falling through?
Yep. Yes, there is.
Got it. Okay.
There's a rotted hole through the center of this tower, and some edges that appear to be a little more refined. And you get the sense that there once was a well-defined edges, but it has slowly been rotting away and caving in over time.
Great. So Serena's going to very carefully navigate through this room. She's going to look down the center to kind of see what's below and above.
Can you tell me how you do this? So,
let's see. Yeah, because if the edges are super rotted, she wouldn't want to step on them and fall like 30 feet. She has rope. I guess what she could do is that she could tie a piece of rope to like a strong, brick or a part of the wall that's jutting out. And then, or is that all deteriorated and rotted too? There's no strong holding.
I will say the closest thing that you saw that resembled that were the griffin statues right outside the scaffolding that were reaching toward the front that you could tie a rope around and feed it through. You would need to go out back on the scaffolding and reach and loop rope around the griffins, though.
That's way too much work. She could just fall doing that. Okay. Well, if that's the case, she's not going to bother looking down the center of the tower. Let's see. V6 is just the floor?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess she'll carefully, go along the walls, like whereas like there's still flooring that's holding up, and she'll avoid the middle.
Okay.
And I guess is there like a stairs? Is there?
There are no stairs.
There are no stairs. What's in this room other than chains, a broken floor, and the wall she just walked in from?
Literally nothing.
It's just an empty room.
It's just an empty room with a rotted center floor.
Great. Okay, well, that's the case. I guess she could... okay. She could run and jump onto the chains and use that to shimmy up or down the tower. Kind of risky, though, because we don't know where she's going. I guess what she could do is she could go to the chains, and if it goes straight to the bottom floor, she could use that to find the door and open the door from the inside.
So are you going on the chains?
I guess so. That's the best plan I got.
Okay. So describe to me what you're doing.
Right. Serena looks at the chains, and she can't really look up all that much. She's just going to trust that these things are strong enough to hold her.
All right.
And she's going to go to her little scaffolding, try to get like a nice running start. She's not going to sprint. She doesn't want to go like flying.
Mhm.
It's just she just wants to hang on to the chains and be able to either climb up or go down
Okay.
a hole.
Okay.
So she's going to try to run and hop.
All right. You back away. And the wind begins to pick up and blow in your hair, and the scaffolding creaks beneath your feet as you breathe. Whew, okay, I just gotta leap and jump, and that's it.
Hang on.
And you take a brisk jog, and you leap. Go ahead and make me an acrobatics check.
Natural 20.
Natural
Another
20. Rolling on freaking fire. Okay.
I don't even need the chat to give me 20s. I can just roll my own.
Yeah. That.
I'm going to regret saying that later.
All right. Like a soldier. That is not it. You whoosh, leap down and grab the chains, and they are covered in slime. And were not expecting that. You didn't really think, I was like, oh, but this thing has been exposed to the elements for so long. Oh God, it's covered in mold and moss, and it is grody. And your feet begin to slide, and you hold it tightly. And you stop, and you've got a good grip on this chain.
Okay. So, she's going to go downwards first. And her plan is to open the door.
All right. So, you head down past the first floor. Yeah, now the music isn't working. Thank you, chat.
Past the
Past the second floor. Yeah, sorry. That's what happens when I get distracted.
I went through the ground.
Yeah. No.
Whoa.
Chat's for some reason the music isn't coming through. I gotta.
Yeah, it says nothing's playing.
Yeah.
Even on my end, nothing's playing.
Okay. Cool. So, start climbing down, and you see the second floor. Dust and cobwebs fill this otherwise empty room. The flagstone floor is strewn with debris, and a few old crates stand near the east wall. A torn curtain to the south partially obscures the tower vestibule. A 5-foot square indentation at the center of the floor contains 4 pulleys attached to taut iron chains that stretch up through a similarly sized hole in the rotted wooden ceiling. Standing next to the chains are 4 tall clay statues.
That's creepy. We're not into that. Skit.
You go back up?
Well, is there any more, like, we're trying to go to the first floor. We're on the second floor, right?
No. The second floor was more the same. This is the first floor.
Oh, we skipped the second floor.
No.
Great.
The second floor was the dust and cobwebs filled the otherwise empty room. It was more the same.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
So we're on the first floor
yeah.
now. Okay, so yeah, we're on the first floor. Okay, well, great. Let's try to find the door.
You easily find the orientation of where this door would normally be, and you see a door with a handle.
Does it have the same sigils and whatever on the inside of the door as well as the outside of the door, or no?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Because I'm like, realistically, you know, if you have like a locked door, you can open it from the inside. You just can't open it from the outside. Like, that's how doors work. So if they have a magical inscription on the outside, I feel like it would be weird for it to also be on the inside.
Yeah.
I don't know who the magician person
Yeah.
that put the thing
You
on
do
the
not
door,
see the same symbol on the inside. You just see a handle.
Okay, great. Well, she's going to open the door.
You die. No. Yeah.
I knew it.
You reach forward toward the handle, it creaks open, and you open up the door to see Casimir smoking his pipe, and he notices you open the door. Ah, well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to do a little bit of climbing, but yeah, I found the door.
Perfect. Looks inside. Not much of a home, but I've seen worse.
Yeah, I mean, I had to use the chains in the middle of the room to climb, or climb down through the tower. I'm not sure if there's stairs anywhere in this tower, but yeah, it seems to be a building. Well, I suppose it doesn't hurt to look around. And she's gonna go ahead and look around the room.
Make me a investigation check. Another natural 20. Watch.
An 18, close,
Okay.
but no cigar.
No cigar.
No.
So, the 4 clay golems appear to be grasping the chains and looking upward in place, covered in filth. You see a series of crates, and you peek inside of them. They all are slightly opened, and all of them are empty. And you look around, and you just see various debris that is being caused from this tower to slowly fall apart over the years.
So other than the 4 golems, there isn't really anything else in this room. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 4 golems are holding the chains?
They are.
Is it like a situation where they're holding like the chains, and then they're like going through the ceiling and then going back down through the ceiling?
The chains are taut on the ground where there is a platform that the chains are attached to.
Ah, they're okay. I thought they were just dangling. Okay. So the chains are attached to a platform in the middle of the
on the
room.
first floor.
On the first floor. It's not in the air, it's on the ground.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a platform on the ground with the chains attached to, I guess, the corners. Is it a square platform?
Yep, it's a square, four chains on each side.
4 chains on each side. And then, so I assume, do the chains go up, and then where are the golems holding the chains?
You take a look and you notice that there are another set that is dangling down. I will simply tell you that there was 2 sets, and it's a pulley system, basically.
Okay. So,
Yeah. And that was my bad for explaining the chains properly. Yeah, it's a pulley system.
I mean, I guess I could share my screen with my camera.
It's true. It's true. And yeah, and then Stream would be able to see it.
Yeah. Here. Okay, I'll turn on screen share. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. This is what we're talking about right now.
Oh my goodness.
This is what we're talking about
This
right now.
is happening.
Is this what we were describing? They're all very happy.
Yes, they're all very happy. Basically, yeah.
Yes.
They're closer to the edges, but basically, yeah. Either that or they're all.
So
they all
these
have
are
very
taught to the ceiling.
Yes.
Of the
of the tower. They go all the way up.
Yeah, they go all the way straight up through the tower. Okay.
Either that or they all have very long noses.
They all have very long noses. Yes, that are attached to the chains. Okay, and then they are all holding them down back through the first floor as a pulley system.
Yeah.
Great. Now we figured that out.
Perfect. Nola Dodd, everybody. The next Picasso.
Okay.
All right. What are you doing?
Okay, well, there's nothing in particular about these golems. I guess we should climb up and see what the other floors have.
You climb up.
I guess so. She's gonna clean. She's gonna use prestidigitation to clean these chains first. Okay, so she's not slipping like she almost did last time.
You mutter the arcane incantation, and the spell fizzles into nothingness.
She has all this grime on her hands, and oh my gosh, she's miserable. Okay. Well, I guess she'll just take a handkerchief and wipe her hands, and then try to, go back up the chain.
Okay, going back, climbing up this thing is a whole other level of difficult. It was one thing sliding down.
Sliding down is easier than climbing up.
Yeah, right. So go ahead and make me an acrobatics check.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
Let's see if I roll that. No, we're still good. 24. Yeah. We're still fine.
Why do I even have you roll? Why don't I just let you succeed at everything?
Yeah, just exactly.
You find your bearings on this chain, and you start slipping, and you start to move really quickly, and you start just climb up this thing, and Casimir just looks up at you. A little too, I don't think I'm really cut out for that, sorry. I think that is a little more your thing.
Okay. And she's like climbing up. I'll keep you updated. And she keeps climbing until she reaches the 4th floor, and she's gonna be a bit tired, but
yeah, easy enough. Yeah, you climb 4 stories up this chain, and it is rough. You are very winded, and you see the top, and you keep climbing up. You see the end of the pulley system, and you pull yourself up. Unlike the levels below, this room shows signs of recent habitation. And although the place reeks of mold and mildew, it has plenty of creature comforts, including a cozy bed, a desk with a matching chair, bright tapestries, and a large iron stove with plenty of wood to feed it. Light enters through arrow slits, as well as through dirt-caked windows with broken shutters. Other features of the room include a standing suit of armor and a wooden chest. Old wooden rafters bend over the weight of the tower roof, which has somehow remained intact. Mounted to the rafters are the pulleys, around which one hangs iron chains that support the tower's elevator platform beneath. And I will show you the thingy-bob.
Okay, how many floors are in this tower?
4.
4, okay. This, looks nice. For what it is. Casimir?
Yeah? What do you see up there?
Well, it sort of looks like someone has made their home here.
Sounds like a wonderful place to be.
Right. And, well, seeing as, the bard, Richtavo, he suggested this place. I wonder if he lives here.
Maybe.
Here.
I was not there. This place does seem fairly defensible, though, with the water and everything.
Well, I would agree if this place wasn't so decrepit, but, why is he not here, though? I thought he said that...
Did he leave before you?
Did he?
I'm gonna go ahead and leave that up to you to remember.
should I like do an intelligence check to see if
I'll allow it.
I remember?
Sure. But like we've said before, why don't I just allow you to succeed? Because you're just...
But you never know. You never know when that one's gonna roll into my life.
You're just circumventing all of the things with your amazing rolls.
Hey, listen. If the game wants me to succeed, the game wants me to succeed, okay?
It's D&D. It's D&D. I'm not bitter.
Oh, see, there's the one.
There we go. Okay.
We don't remember anything.
There you go. You don't remember.
Yeah, she is just as clueless as I am. Like, did he?
Finally. That's all I gotta
say that he was going to be here before us, or was he going to be here after us? Huh. Well, he's not here right now. We might as well use the place.
Should
I hope he doesn't mind.
I can't get up there.
Oh, you're right. Wow, there's no stairs to this place. How would one get up here? I would suggest, we could make impromptu stairs, but that's like 4 stories worth of stairs. That's way too much work.
I don't think that is...
practical. Well, I suppose we could just camp near the tower. You know, I'm gonna take a look around the room first. Hang on. I should make sure this place is safe.
Make me an investigation check.
12.
With a 12...
A normal roll? What? What is happening? What's happening to my rolling powers?
You look around and you see the desk and the wood stove, which looks very usable. This place looks very cozy. It's not much to, the nose. And then you start to smell something. You go over to the chest, and that chest smells of lavender.
So Nola is thinking, it's a trap. But would Serena think that?
Up to you, player.
You know what? Serena probably wouldn't even think about that. She's just gonna open it.
Okay. You open up the chest. And this head backs up against the back corner of the chest. Been decomposed for days. Its jaw broken in several places, looking back up at you with a horrified look on its face.
Serena's gonna back up and scream like she was not expecting this at all.
Hey, what's going on?
She immediately draws out her sword, ready to attack whatever the heck that was. And she's what? Is there a zombie in there? Is there, like, what's happening?
Shing, you draw your sword and you look at this chest. Nothing happens. Hey, what's going on up there? You okay? You everything fine?
I think. And she like slowly approaches the chest, and there's like a decomposing head in there.
Yep. And it smells of lavender.
It smells great. Okay. She's never going to be able to smell lavender again. She looks at this head, and is it like moving, or is it just a head?
It's just a head.
She doesn't recognize it, does she?
Make another intelligence check.
8. Nah.
Nah.
All right. Well, she's going to, look in. Is there anything else in there other than the head? Why does it smell like lavender? Why?
Yeah, no, it's just a head.
All right. Well, she's gonna close the box. All right. She didn't need this. She didn't need that today.
And you go back to the wonderful looking everything else of the room.
All right. Well, she's had her scare for the day. She's gonna take a look at everything else, and now she's a little bit more paranoid. Like she's, double checking everything, checking under the bed. Is there a dead body under there? Is there
no dead
skeleton in the closet?
Yeah.
Is there?
You again looking over everything. And yeah, the suit of armor seems fairly clean and well kept. The bed seems like the sheets are swapped out. This seems like a very lived in place. It's nice.
Other than the head in the chest.
Yeah.
Which someone just
but
casually keeps.
Yeah, don't we all have that?
So anyway. All right, well, she's going to yell back down. So I found a head.
Gross.
And it's just the head. And it's gross.
Sounds like it.
Chest. Like someone's keeping it.
Lovely.
As a pet.
I don't know this bard figure that you're acquainted with. Perhaps it is his. I don't know what kind of habits they would have.
Ew. Alright, I don't want to stay in here. I'm coming back down. And so she goes back down. Like she's not.
Oh yeah, I'll just allow you go back down. Well, how was your little adventure? Sorry that I couldn't be of much help.
Well, it was an adventure. I have had my scare for the day.
I mean, we all need that every once in a while, I'm sure. Sarcastically.
I've had enough scares to last me a lifetime.
Sure. So what's happening?
I don't think there's. Okay. If Richtavo lives here, when we meet him, we're gonna have to talk. If Richtavo doesn't live here, well then, I don't want to meet whoever lives here.
Why would he send you here if he didn't live here?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he knows about this place. I mean, at the very least, this seems safe-ish.
Again, very defensible, but you're right. You are right. It is quite decrepit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I guess it makes a okay stop before we get to our next location.
So we are staying here then. Are we waiting for this bard friend of yours?
Well, at least for the rest of the day. I don't know when he'll show up.
Very true. How long are we going to be staying here?
Well, after today, I don't really see a reason to stay longer than that. I do kind of want to look at the wagon, though.
Well, it's not going anywhere.
Right. She's gonna go out. She's gonna look at the wagon again.
You go out.
Now
Now
that she's looked at the room, it's like, what else is here?
Yeah, you go back outside into the blowing breeze of Barovia. Back to the wagon.
Yep. Okay. And now she's gonna have like her sword ready. She's ready for like a zombie to pop out of the wagon. Okay. She sees the padlock, and she has no idea how to pick a lock. Okay, like she's not a thief, so I guess she's just gonna. Actually, she could, ask whether Casimir or even Ismar would possibly know how to pick a lock. Probably not, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
What are you doing?
Okay, if they don't know how to pick a lock, she's just gonna take a rock and just try to beat the lock until it breaks.
Make me an athletics check.
Lovely. Athletics. That's a 16.
This padlock is in pristine condition. You get and you look at it, and it is a hardy padlock that is polished and not rusted like most of the other metals. You get a sense that whoever, and you look at the fresh coat of paint at this wagon, you get the sense that whoever owns this wagon has their shit together, and you bash this padlock over and over and over and over again, and much like you would expect from just bashing a really thick piece of steel with a rock over and over again,
it's just not working.
It just doesn't do anything.
Worth a shot, I guess.
And Casimir's just been going through tobacco like crazy, just watching you do things.
I'm helping, by the way.
Do you have any wonderful ideas?
Honestly, coming here was your idea.
And she's gonna go to the front of the wagon and try to peek in through the big window.
You do,
again.
And you see the exact same thing that I described, silhouettes of all kinds of items on the interior with a wire attached to the door handle on the far side.
The padlock is for the door, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. She's not gonna bust the window. That's gonna cause some serious trouble. Okay, you know what? She quits. Okay, so she's just gonna leave it, go back to Ismark and Irina, and she's just gonna retell what's happened, and then be like, "All right, well, we're done for the day." Serena quits. She saw a head today, and she's done.
All right. Ismark affirms. And you spend the day here. Is there anything that you would like to do with this downtime?
Maybe, I don't know if maybe checking out the area around the tower.
Sure.
It looks like it's just a lake, right?
It is a lake and it is a forest. If you would like to explain how far you want to go out to explore the area, do that, and then I'll have you make an investigation check.
Well, okay. So she's gonna pull out her map.
Yep, there it is.
And take a look. And she has her marked place for where she thinks the grave is supposed to be. How long would it take for her to walk around the lake?
Probably a couple-day hike.
That would be a few-day hike?
2 days to be particular. You'd probably need to sleep on it. You could do it in a day and then get back, if it was a 24-hour hike. But it's a pretty sizable lake.
Okay. I think, you know what? She'll just walk a quarter of the lake around one of the edges just to kind of get a head start of, the general path.
All right.
And then around when it's time to set up camp, she'll probably head back.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. Just a little walk, just a little stroll through the woods,
Yep. Naturally. You do a little stroll through the woods. Make an investigation check.
Yeah, following the lake. Investigation. And that is a 22. gonna laugh if I meet Beatrice right now. She's just, oh, you're taking a stroll through these woods too? Oh, what a convenient. Wow, what a convenience.
Okay.
Is
So,
there another freaking scarecrow?
so here's what happens.
Is there another scarecrow? I swear.
You make your way through the woods. And as is normal with Barovia, these trees are uncomfortably close together, and it is claustrophobic walking through this forest.
Oh gosh. What have I done?
And you find a series of bodies, around 6 Vistani, torn to shreds by some kind of clawed creature, and other wounds that you don't recognize on initial glance. They're more clean.
So, like, not like a tiger.
Do you approach?
Well, she's alone, so I don't know if it'd be smart for her to just approach.
What are you doing?
She gets caught alone. That's, oh my gosh.
What are you doing, player?
Can I do like a perception check? To,
Sure.
Like, double check that she's alone.
Make a
and then
perception.
no one else is like staring at her.
Make a perception check.
Come on, come on. Okay. Come on. Good rolls. Okay, don't quit on me now. A 22.
Staring at you from the thicket, you see, blending in with the treescape, roughly a 7 foot, 8 foot tall humanoid creature. And you listen and you hear deep breathing, but it is trying to hide itself. And you look at it. Long pointed snout, a row of fine sharp teeth, and deep bloodshot eyes, and a coat of thick fur. This upright wolf-like beast hiding in the nook of one of the creatures of one of the trees. Just watching you.
I was just like, it's hiding under one of the
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Okay. Ooh, a wolf-like creature. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. She's going to casually, using all of her acting prowess, try to just act like she got spooked by the bodies and she's going to leave.
Make me a performance check.
That's a 12.
All right, Nola, I want you to act out what you think a 12 performance would look like in this situation.
Okay, so Serena looks at all the dead bodies strewn about, and Serena, she glances, she's looking at the bodies, but her eyes are like glancing around, and she sees like the wolf person kind of looking at her, but it's only for a moment, only for like just like half a second. Their eyes meet, and like her vision like goes back to the bodies, and she's going to like back away slowly, like, it's getting late. I should go home. Oh gosh, and there's all these poor people here being eaten by a monster. And it's going to be dark outside. I better go home. And then she's going to turn around, and no, she's not going to turn around. She's going to back away slowly, and then after some distance, she's going to turn around and just run.
And the Emmy goes to... Okay, So you, oh no, it sure is late, and you turn and you make some distance, occasionally glancing over to the creature, and the creature notices you notice it, and then you turn around and bolt, and.
Dang it!
The howl echoes throughout. And then you run, and you look behind, and you don't see it. And you keep running. Like you're listening, hearing out for like something following you really quickly. You don't hear the pitter-patter of footsteps. And you run, and you run, and you run. And eventually you make your way back to the tower. And you look behind you. And the wolf didn't chase you.
She's like out of breath. Like she is like terrified, trying to breathe.
Yeah,
and
after seeing you run from the interior of the woods, Ismark quickly grabs his sword, hearing the wolf howl, and then runs towards you. What's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah. And she's so out of breath, she like can't even talk. And she's just pointing to the woods like the wolf there was a wolf person.
A werewolf, one might say.
Yeah, I think I've never seen one before. I think that might have been it.
Did it have stripes?
No, it didn't have stripes. Okay, it wasn't a cat. Okay, and she's like lightheaded, like she's like trying not to fall over because she's like winded and like ready to faint from like being out of breath.
Ismark is, he made a joke, but he still looks battle ready, and he looks around and lets you go past him. A minute goes by. 2 minutes. 5 minutes. And he lets down his sword. Werewolves are usually very fast. If you got away, it's because it wanted you to.
Well, to be honest, I wasn't sure I was going to outrun it, but I had to try. I saw there was a bunch of dead bodies.
You would not have been able to outrun a werewolf, I promise you. I agree with Ismark's assessment. It's probably decided to let you go.
I don't know why. There were like 6 bodies in there that it probably killed earlier. They were horribly mangled. I don't know, maybe it decided that it was good for the day?
I don't know much about werewolves, but I do know that they can be quite deadly, and also quite infectious.
Infectious?
Don't get bit. That mannerism. It's contagious.
Ah, okay. Sorry, infectious. I don't think like ability to infect. I thought like infectious as in likable, and I got very confused. It's like it's very infectious. How?
Yeah.
And
Who's
she let out a little laugh.
Yeah.
But she's
All right. Anything else that you want to do for the day? I'll say that stroll took most of the time, but you got a good lay of the land.
Yeah.
And you know
there's a werewolf in the woods.
that there's a werewolf in the woods.
Yeah. That's knowledge that would be good to have. I guess she's just going to try to clean herself off and calm down and relax and try to camp out.
All right.
And she prays that she does not have a werewolf tapping on her dome tonight.
While you are setting up your camp, all your things, you hear in the distance, off the trail, as horse clopping seems to be coming from the woods.
From where she ran from?
From the trail where you came from, actually.
From the trail. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like... okay. I guess she'll look out to the trail then.
You look and you see a silhouette in the mist being formed. And it looks like a lone horse. And then, no, there's something attached to it. And you see a rider leaning forward, just holding on to the horse. And as it gets closer, you notice that this person has essentially tied themselves to this horse and is bleeding profusely and is just being taken by this horse slowly along the road.
She's gonna run out and see this person. And when she sees that he's bleeding profusely, she's going to use another cure wounds.
You walk up. This is not Rictavia. This is a woman. A woman in a bright red garb. A prosthetic leg. A sword on one side, a hatchet on the other. And red sash dangled in her beautiful black hair.
She's not going to ask the ma'am if she's okay. She's not okay.
No.
So she's going to immediately go to her and heal, use her magic to heal her and probably help her off the horse because that's probably not probably help her to the ground. And it takes a few seconds for the information to register that this could be the woman that Diona talked about. But Serena doesn't think about that until after she's used her cure wounds. So here we go.
You use cure wounds on her, and you get a sense that you were just in time. As in, one death saving throw away in time. This person, whoever they are, looks bitten, clawed at in several places. How she is still alive, you have no idea. But
yeah.
she has stayed alive enough for you to use cure wounds on her.
Just stay where you are. You'll be all right. Oh, I can't imagine what must have happened to you.
She pulls back on the horse, and you see.
Oh, I helped her to the ground.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
She tied herself to the horse.
Oh right, she did. Okay,
Yeah.
so then I wouldn't have been able to help her to the ground. So
she and tries to undo the knots that she did. What the bloody hell? And looks up and sees your face. You're not pale enough to be one of them. And you see this figure, looking back at you.
Yeah. Where are they? Where are they?
Where are who?
That fucking woman. And her pets.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Who are you? What?
And then she sees the tower.
Oh, thank the gods.
How about we help you out so we can have a proper talk?
Right. Let's get to my cart. I have plenty of things in there that could help me.
And as you continue on down the way, Ismark looks at this person and just rolls their eyes.
Great.
Another Rastani. And Irina looks very timid and scared at the sight of the bleeding wounds on this woman's body. And as you make your way to the cart, this woman heavily breathing.
Darling, do me a favor. I kinda go underneath the cart. There's a trapdoor. Go in and there's a wire. Be careful with the wire or the entire place will blow up. But I need the door open.
All right. Sure thing. And of course she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't open that door earlier.
Yeah.
So she, follows her instruction and she goes under the door. Under the carriage.
You climb through the dirt, and under the carriage is a trap door. You push it open and you look on the interior, and you have a better look now that you're not looking through a smudged window and your dark vision kicks in, and you see a crate filled to the brim with oils and explosive devices, all attached to a little piece of steel that rubs together and with a little bit of a spark from the tug of a wire would ignite this entire crate and blow this thing sky high. And the wire is still attached to the door handle. Very delicately.
All right. Well, Serena, while she's in there, she gives a silent prayer of like, thank you. So glad I didn't open the door. And she goes ahead and gets in there. Did the lady ask her to grab something?
Potions, dearie.
Right. And she looks around and
You
tries
do.
to see some health potions.
You see, there are many. You look at the interior of this wagon. You see all kinds of tiny little boxes. A wooden trunk with claw marks. And you look in that first, and it holds a battle axe, a flail, a morning star, a light crossbow, and 10 silvered bolts. You see a narrow wardrobe, and it contains multiple sets of clothes and several pairs of shoes, a harlequin mask, and disguise materials. You see a climber's kit, a disguise kit, a healer's kit, which has what you're looking for. You notice that there's a lyre, a sculpted wooden cage with a golden chicken-like statue, a tiny wooden box, a set of copper pots, manacles, a shovel. There's all kinds of things in here.
All right. Well, she's gonna grab 2 health potions or healing kits, and she's gonna head on out.
Yep, and you heal her up, and as she takes a deep breath inward and takes a good long look at you and everyone else.
Right, well, I do believe that perhaps introductions are in order.
And that is where we are going to end tonight.